after hearing Donald Trump today, do you have any second thoughts about that proclamation that you would take Clinton over Trump on the world stage?
Not at all, Chuck. This was a standard Trump temper tantrum. It had a teleprompter. That was really the only new element here. It was a typically contradictory, even bizarre performance by Donald Trump. And he was actually attacking President Obama for abandoning our allies. And in the next breath, he's saying he's going to abandon our allies, NATO and Japan and South Korea. He's suggesting that President Obama is not engendering confidence on the world stage at the same time that he's saying he's going to be unpredictable and he's going to have this secret plan to deal with ISIS that nobody knows about. He's saying that he's going to work closely with the Muslim world at the same time that he's going to bar Muslims from coming to the United States. I mean, he was introduced by Zal Khalilzad, an eminent American diplomat who happens to be a Muslim, who would have never been allowed to come to this country if Trump were president. This is not a man who engenders any degree of confidence as a potential commander-in-chief. This is not somebody who should be handed the nuclear codes. And today's speech, I think, just reinforces how ill-prepared he is to deal with the responsibilities of the high office to which he now aspires.
Are you concerned that some people just got snowed a little bit by Trump's tone and just said, well, he had a measured tone, so it must have been a better speech?
You know, Trump has set expectations so low that if he can go a whole speech without talking about Lying Ted or Crooked Hillary or, you know, throwing out four-letter words or what have you, people think, oh, my God, he's being so presidential. If this had been a speech given by any normal presidential candidate, it would have been dissected and laughed out of the room because it was so incoherent and so self-contradictory. Right. But people have such low expectations for Trump that he's now being applauded for being quasi-presidential, which he isn't in the least, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, I had to laugh when he couldn't even pronounce Tanzania correctly. He couldn't read it off the teleprompter.
Now, some may watch this and say, oh, well, you know, Max Boot just doesn't like his philosophy on foreign policy. Trump is a bit more of a, if there is a coherent string of thoughts here from Trump, it is that he's an isolationist, he doesn't want to intervene too much, that is the string that sort of ties all this together. So some might say, well, you just don't agree with that philosophy.
You're right. I don't agree with the philosophy of isolationism and protectionism. The last time we tried that was in the 1930s. It's striking to me that Donald Trump describes his philosophy as being America first. He doesn't seem to realize that was the name of the isolationist movement in the 1930s. That was sympathetic to Nazi Germany, led by Charles Lindbergh. We learned from that disaster. We took a new tack after World War II, and now he wants to head us back towards that failed policy in the 1930s. It would be a disaster for this world. I couldn't imagine Donald Trump as president actually implementing those policies.
All right, Max Boot, who I assume you'll be writing speeches for Hillary Clinton pretty soon, right? I am just kidding.
I'm not writing speeches for anybody, but I'm not voting for Trump.
Max Boot, I appreciate it. Longtime foreign policy analyst. Appreciate you coming on. Now.